Hi air signs, welcome to another pick a card reading with a little bit of a twist. The little twist being that one of these readings is a relationship reading, one is a work reading, and one is a general reading. I don't know which one's which, and we're gonna find out together. So behind each of these cards, on the other side of each card, it will tell us whether it's work, general, or relationship. So look at the decks, see which deck calls out to you or which number calls out to you. You're welcome to watch one, two, or all three of the readings. As I said, the messages are for anyone whose sun, moon, or rising sign is an air sign, so Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Take your time if you need to pause the video, and then we will get into it. So for those of you who chose deck number one, let's find out what you have. You have the work reading. So I am going to put that, where am I going to put it? I need to plan these things in advance, don't I? Right, we're going to put it there. Let me get my decks ready. It is this one, right. I've got a bunch of oracle decks, tarot decks in front of me. So yeah, they are organized, but it's still, you still have to sort of think twice about which ones you're going to pick. So we're going to start off with some oracle cards first of all. A couple of oracle cards first of all. So let's move the tarot deck out of the way actually. So I'm going to start off with a message from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck first of all. So that's going to be like a main theme for this particular reading. So again, messages are for anyone whose sun, moon, or rising sign is an air sign, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And with the work readings, this can be work. For me, it can literally be job or career, which is what it would typically be. It can be anything that you are focused on or giving your time, energy, and efforts to. It can be to do with projects, creative projects, learning, business plans, your life purpose. That can be your work. Your spiritual path is work, the work that you do on your spiritual path, and any achievements as well. Right, so let's begin, as I said, with a message from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. So for the group that you chose, deck one, can't talk today, you have change. Okay. So that one first of all. I feel like that is blurred, but okay, it's hard to tell sometimes. Right. I'm also going to get you a message from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck as well. So what else do the air signs who chose the work reading need to know? What else do you need to know? Right, you have a couple. You have Spider Spirit, make your dreams real. So I'll put that there. And you also have Moth Spirit, surrender now. So let's just put those like that. Hopefully you can see everything. Right, so I am going to look at the messages. I'll get your tarot cards out first of all, and then I will look at from the book, I can't speak today, I don't know why, Spirit Animal Oracle deck cards. You know, it's Monday morning. It's just, I've said it in other readings, me and Monday mornings, we're not friends. I do my best, but we're not friends. My brain doesn't really kick in properly till about Wednesday, so... Right, so what do we need to know for air signs for this work reading? What's going on for them regarding work? Okay, so the main theme or main energy, focal point, 5 of Swords. And you know what? The number 5, it's a number of change, isn't it? So, oops, anything to do with the past relating to this. You have the Empress, present. You've got the 4 of Wands and potential future. You have the 2 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. Right. Let's get another card under here, one under there and one under there as well. So this will tell us what you can learn from the past. So you've got the Page of Cups, we'll put that like that. What you can learn in the present. Two of Swords, and any guidance on moving forward for you with that potential future energy. So you have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Right, so now I look at the book, and I hope you can see all of the cards. Okay, right. So first of all, let's look at the Spider Spirit card, which is, well, actually this is alphabetical, so that helps. If I can actually find it right. It says, the Oracle message says, weaving your dreams into the fabric of life begins with a single thread of intention, and then Spirit joins you as your co-weaving partner. Take but a single step to make your dream a reality, and Spirit will take 10 toward you. For the universe is designed to support your dream weaving. Spider Spirit arrives when you need reminding of the awesome power of co-creation. With Spirit, ideas and resources will begin to appear as if by magic as you begin to bring your dreams from the realm of intention into the world of the senses where they take form. The action you need to take is to be clear about your intentions and then act as if you have become the one that lives the life you desire. The web of creation has an uncanny way of coming together to weave the beautiful pattern you set in motion. Another message of Spider Spirit is about any creative project you may be considering. Writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening, etc. Now is the time when inspiration wants to be channeled through you as something creative, even artistic and tangible. Creative projects are successful now if you are so inclined. Let yourself be open to abundance. So that creative project stuff, I mean, I did mention it as one of the themes that can come up for work readings. That may be very, very relevant to someone right now. And I'm just thinking with the Surrender Now card, you've got the Empress there. She is also about creativity, and the Page of Cups is about creativity as well. And somebody may have been putting off creative projects. If you are a creative person in general, like say if you were someone that's always wanted to write a book, you might have been putting that off. Or if you're someone that likes drawing, painting, etc., or music or whatever, you may have put other things to the forefront, which, not blaming anyone, obviously we've all got different areas of our lives that need attention, but for whatever reason you may have put your creative side or creative projects on the back burner, and it's kind of like now maybe a time where it's a time for change, where you put the focus back on those things. And that may be why that Surrender Now card is coming in, because it's sort of saying it's time to sort of stop pushing those things aside and sort of let them come back in, surrender to sort of dealing with that, the creative stuff. Anyway, it says, the protection message says, are you expecting your dreams to weave themselves into reality? Are you stuck in the sticky web of weaving dreams but never following through? The thread of intention isn't enough to make dreams a reality unless you do your part in the weaving. Spider Spirit wants you to know that your plans will remain can't even say this word now, ephemeral, unless you commit to being productive and industrious. For Spirit will not do it all for you. Magic needs to be instigated, so begin to make your dream a reality by taking action today. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice? Can you release your limiting beliefs? Your dream is worthy of weaving. Today is a day to choose one small step toward your dream. Remember, Spirit is your weaving partner. You just have to be the first one to bring the thread to the loom and then continue to do your part. Yeah, so again, if there's been any procrastination or you've abandoned any projects, whether for whatever reason, it might be a time to get back onto the forefront with it. And obviously, again, just to reiterate the examples that were given here, it could be anything, but these were the examples they gave. They said writing, painting, music, journaling, gardening, etc. I mean, I know we can often think of creative that it literally has to be artistic, but there are a bunch of things that people can consider to be art, can't they? Like even, I suppose, an inventor. That's a really weird example to bring up, but an inventor, they're whatever they invent is their creation, isn't it? Think creations, because the Empress, again, she creates. So what is it that you want to create? So again, let's look at that Moth Spirit one. Where is it? Moth Spirit. So Moth Spirit, it says, If this is blurry, I apologize. I think it's okay, but it's a bit hard to tell at the minute. Right, it says, Mud Spirit asks, what is guiding you right now? Are you in alignment with spirit or pursuing something or someone with so much tenacity that it has become a compulsion or addiction? Are you so intoxicated by a potential relationship or opportunity that you can't think straight? Hard work and dedication are virtues, and love, of course, is a beautiful thing. However, when Mud Spirit appears, it is time to consider if you have gone over the edge in a relentless pursuit. Workaholism, overeating, perfectionism, or addiction to certainty or even to a person may be your current vice. The form of your addiction does not matter so much as awareness of the consequences of remaining persistent when moderation is needed. Let go of your excessive energy by channeling it into more than one direction. Yeah, that. I was thinking, yeah, that's what I was thinking before when I said if your attention's been elsewhere. I'll elaborate on that in a minute. Anyway, the fire burns hot and you do not want to be engulfed by your passion to the exclusion of all the other pursuits that matter to you. Now is a time for surrender and radical acceptance so that your drive does not cause you to flee or to fight. Spirit wants you to release your need for certainty and control so that you can relax into a more balanced way of using your Mud Spirit energy. Banish the shoulds and musts so that you can enjoy what is as you allow for what might be. The protection message says, Mud Spirit can be intense and honest. And honesty about your own compulsive tendencies is needed right now. It is too easy to switch from one addiction to another, distracting yourself from the discomfort of, was a key word I was thinking of actually, distract, and I don't know, I can't tell if I've just said it or not now. Distractions, if I haven't already said it, distractions from creative projects that you may have put on the back burner, but anyway. From the discomfort of uncertainty and the thoughts and emotions that arise when you aren't single-mindedly pursuing a goal. Mud Spirit calls to you to practice moderation in all things and recognize when you think, I think it means when you think, you are headed toward the light but are really heading into a fire that will cause burnout. Why are you so resistant to letting up? Could you be avoiding difficult emotions you need to feel and release? Now is a time to do a fearless inventory so that your addictive tendencies can be toned down and rechanneled into enthusiastic activity in moderation. You are not a machine. Listen to Mud Spirit's message that a change is needed to support your well-being. Maybe deep down you know you have become too attached to something and someone. Let go of your need to control the outcome and allow yourself to remember the many ways you want to channel your energy to relationships, to work, to giving to others, to self-care, and to all the other pursuits you value. So I've said distractions, where if you've been distracted by other things, you might be putting creative stuff on the back burner. I think a big thing I took from that surrender message was about balance, actually. Because maybe for someone, actually, it could be a case of there is a creative pursuit that you, because we've had this as the past energy, how would I put it? Like trying too hard. It mentioned being addicted to a pursuit. So on the other end of the spectrum, so you've got the one end of the spectrum, which is where you completely put it on the back burner because you're just distracted and you've got other shit going on that you probably really focused on that and it's calling for you to have a bit more balance in your life. The other end of the spectrum is where someone could really be obsessed with a creative project where you're shutting everything else out. And it's overall, the whole point is that there's more of a sense of balance needed. But let's look at the end. That could be the change. Just the overall change required is one of balance, where everything is more balanced and whatever it is that you're giving your time and attention to in life. But let's look at that Five of Swords. And obviously everyone's circumstances are different, so take it as it applies to you, whether you are on the end of the spectrum where you putting stuff on the back burner or whether you're obsessing over one particular thing. So what do we need to know about that Five of Swords as like an overall energy? Yes, I will take the Page of Wands and see what else comes out. I mean, it feels like focus. There is a thing about focus there, but let's see what else comes out for you. What else do we need to know for this Five of Swords? So, yeah. Okay. Yep. I've got the Seven of Pentacles. Let's get one more. I'm not going to take that. That is Three of Cups, but that literally doesn't feel like it was meant to come out, to be honest. And then you've got the Ace of Swords. This is a really, I'll say intrigued. It's an intriguing energy because, so with the Page of Wands and the Five of Cups, I am getting that vibe of what I said before about distraction. So if somebody's been going through something painful, grief, whatever, that's one thing that would cause you to kind of become very focused and, as we say, almost obsessed with something to kind of take your mind off it. Like, say if you were grieving over, I mean, grief can come in many forms. Like if you were grieving over a relationship, you might become a workaholic. You know, that's one thing. You're just trying to distract yourself in general. But then you've got this Seven of Pentacles energy that as soon as it came out, it was almost like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where to start, but also the message of I don't know what to do. So, like, for the people that are trying to, that are using a particular, focusing on something in particular to deal with some kind of grief or disappointment of some kind, the Seven of Pentacles, it's almost saying, well, I don't know what else to do. You know, it's like, how else do you deal with your whatever's going on emotionally? So that's why you focus so much of your attention on working on whatever it is you're working on, because it's like, well, I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to deal with this. And then for others where you've put stuff on the back burner, it's more like a sense of, but I don't know where to begin, because the Page of Wands, it's the beginning of something as well, isn't it? It's that curiosity. There is a need to become clearer here with the Ace of Swords, I would say. The Five of Swords, as we know, it can be a form of self-sabotage, or represent self-sabotage sometimes. And the two things that I've described, the two ends of the spectrum that I've described, in both ways, they can be a bit self-destructive, can't they? If you try to avoid your emotions and grief, it's self-destructive. And if you try to avoid doing something that you really want to do, then it's not destructive, but it is a bit of a self-sabotaging energy as well. Let's have a look at that Page of Wands, because as I said, it's like someone being very well, it can be curiosity, but it can be focus as well. So let's see what the Page of Wands says. What does the Page of Wands want to tell us? I mean, it's inspiration as well, so it goes to both ends of the spectrum. Again, it can be that inspiration of wanting to do something, but it's the very, very beginning where you haven't quite done anything yet. As I say, the opposite end of the spectrum is hyper focus. Right, so you've got the Five of Swords again. You have the Eight of Cups. Let's get one more. Two of Pentacles and Queen of Swords. These cards overall, it is giving me a sense of avoidance. Strangely, but it's giving me a sense of avoidance. And it still goes both ways. With whichever end of the spectrum you're at, it's avoidance both ways, whether you're trying to avoid dealing with a particular thing of disappointment, whatever, blah, 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 or it's like avoiding doing what you've been putting on the back burner, to be honest with you. Let's just get something for that Five of Cups. So the Eight of Pentacles, the Lovers. Let's get one more. Knight of Swords. I'm going to get one to follow on from the Knight of Swords. Queen of Wands. It's still a similar vibe of avoidance. So for the Five of Cups, right, so again, one end of the spectrum, avoiding dealing with certain feelings by being very focused on something, but not necessarily the thing you actually want. So distractions, it's like avoiding the truth, not shining your light, if you want to put it that way. On the other end of the spectrum, for the ones creative, where you're putting something on the back burner creatively, there's a sense of disappointment around this. I don't know if it's something where you've tried to do it before, and it sort of hasn't, it either hasn't gone the way you wanted, or there's just concerns around being disappointed in some way, shape or form. I'm not 100% sure how that works for you, but maybe a lack of confidence potentially, because the Queen of Wands upright, she's 100% confident, isn't she? So it could be lack of confidence why someone would be avoiding doing the thing that they really, that they actually love. Let's just get something for the Ace of Swords. So you've got the Four of Wands, if I can actually think clearly. You've got the Devil. You've got the Two of Wands, and you have the Sun. There's a need to be clearer on what feels, well, what feels secure and safe to you. That's one thing. There's also a need for some to become clearer on what they want to build, like the foundation that they want to build, as in like the creative projects, like how, what, where, when, why, you know, those sorts of questions, and to become clear about what's holding you back. That's part of the security as well. Like, for example, if you really want to pursue something, or if there's something that you have a love for but you held back from pursuing it, what is it that scares you about that? Like, what is it where you're not feeling safe? And it sounds quite dramatic, doesn't it? But there's something about it that makes you feel a bit uncertain, unsafe, insecure about why you don't want to pursue it. I mean, is this financial stuff on the board? It could be. Like, say if you're going to go on the extreme, well, not extreme, but you know what I mean, on the bigger end, where it was a creative project that you actually wanted to make money with, or take it further than just being there's a big difference between a hobby and actually wanting to make something successful, you know, like a career, should I say, not successful, but to make a career out of it and make money from it, and etc. Does that play a role here that could be holding someone back from certain projects? Again, is it just insecurity in terms of not feeling you good enough? Because for some people, even if it's just a creative project that you want to do for yourself and keep at home, for some people it will still make them lack confidence and affect their self-esteem in doing it, where they just feel like, oh well, there's no point, I'm not good enough anyway. So even for a hobby, it's like there's not much point in doing it. I know that sounds quite dramatic, but yeah, for some people that is an issue. Even if it's stuff they're keeping to themselves, they still feel like, what's the point? I'm not good enough anyway. Whatever I do, it's not good enough, so why bother? Right, let's leave all of this and let's get into the other cards, because I know I've spent time on that. So yeah, overall, it is a bit of a self-sabotaging energy, to, you know, where it's just sort of holding back and needing to become clearer on what's holding you back, whether it's pursuing something, or that you're distracting yourself with something. You need to come to terms with something there, and how whatever you're working on, if you're avoiding working on something, or if you're giving too much of your time and energy working on something to avoid something else. Right, so let's look at the Empress and the Page of Cups. That's a past energy. That is the creative spark, isn't it? The Empress, it's that desire to create, and not just the desire, but the ability to create as well. So just bear with me, I've got like a million cards to put back in the deck now. So I'm just going to get a couple of clarifiers for the Empress, and then something for the Page of Cups. I mean, the one thing I can say straight off, so this is nothing, I don't think this is brand new, because it's showing up in the past. With that Page of Cups there, for me, in reverse, it's a need to be more vulnerable. Whether it's more vulnerable in terms of opening up creatively and expressing. And as I say, this is what you can learn from the past. Or it's that, as I say, avoiding emotions, I would say, and kind of focusing on work, creative projects, whatever it is, to avoid that. to avoid being vulnerable emotionally. But let's get a couple for the Empress. So you've got the Fool, you've got the Moon. Let's get one more. You've got the Devil. And I'll get one more just because the Moon and the Devil are there. Of course, we have the Queen of Cups here. That makes sense. And the Star, yeah. Still the same messages both ways. The spark is there. On the one hand, the spark is there for someone, and they would even have the ability to do something creative. But again, being held back from that for whatever reason. And then again, the opposite end, somebody's distracting themselves. And there's a need to sort of acknowledge emotions, but they're hidden. Let's look at the Page of Cups as what you can learn. I've already said it, but let's just get a couple for the Page of Cups. Two of Pentacles. Yeah. I'm not being sarcastic, but yeah, it's pretty much what I said. A need to be more vulnerable, because with the Two of Pentacles, that's where... Why is she in reverse again? I put her back in the deck upright. The Queen of Swords I'm talking about. It's a need to face... well, first of all, the Queen of Swords is that need to face the truth, isn't it? The Two of Pentacles, for me, it's in here, it's getting on with that day-to-day stuff. So again, if you're distracting yourself from something, it's just juggling so that you don't have to... You can push the emotions down and not express them, because the King of Cups can be very reserved. Like the feelings are there, but they keep them to themselves until they're ready to let it out. You know, so there's that. Again, if there's a need to it's a distraction either way. I know I keep repeating myself now. I'll just say it's a distraction either way, to avoid either emotionally expressing or creatively expressing and facing the truth. And there's a need to be more vulnerable with that. So yep, I will leave that there, because I know I'm just kind of repeating myself, but it's just a repetitive message. I can't really, if the message keeps on coming out, I need to just tell you. I'll try not to make it as repetitive, but if it is, it is, isn't it? Right, so Four of Wands in the present, and Two of Swords. Let's have a look. So Four of Wands, first of all, what's going on there? That's that. Okay, just bear with me. Somebody's at the door. Okay, air sign. So yeah, again, it's that sense of insecurity. So let's put it here. Let's get you a couple more for that. Anything else for the Four of Wands in the present energy? Six of Swords. Anything else? Page of Pentacles. And one more. Page of Swords, okay. I'm going to look at that Six of Swords. We've got the Hanged Man. And one more. The Four of Wands is back out. You know, I think that... Just give me a sec to look at the cards. I have an instant thought, but let me just have a look. I think you're aware of this feeling of insecurity, whichever end of the spectrum you're at in terms of what the issue is. I think you're aware of the feeling of insecurity, and you would like to have that sense of security again, but you probably don't know quite what to do, in a sense. Let's have a look at the Page of Pentacles, because as I say, that's the insecurity there, but it's like there's a desire to leave that behind. For me, the Hanged Man is awareness of wanting to come out of that state of insecurity and feel secure again. So Page of Pentacles, let's have a quick look. That's like wanting a new beginning, isn't it, really? Wanting to start from scratch, plant a seed. Page of Cups, yeah. It's going to sound weird me saying this, but it's almost a desire. Well, it is a desire to start again, but it's like to practically connect with what you love. A desire to practically connect with what you love is one thing that comes to mind here. And then for some, where you're on the end of things, where you might be avoiding certain emotions by being overly practical, it's almost like a need here, a desire to, it probably is a desire to be vulnerable and to be understood, because the Two of Cups for me is understanding. But there's something with that Page of Pentacles, especially for that side of things, where well, both, it's for both actually. There's something about feeling quite small, not literally small, but you know, it's part of vulnerability, isn't it? Where you feel when you're going to be vulnerable about something, you feel, it's almost like you feel like a little kid again. Like, yeah, I can't really explain that. So for those wanting to pursue a creative project, obviously the Page of Pentacles, it's like wanting to start from scratch, having a little bit to offer. You might even want to learn. You might even feel like, oh, well, there's a lot to learn. You've got the Page of Swords there. So for some, yeah, that makes sense. But even for the ones where it's that you've been avoiding certain emotions, there's just something about feeling, I don't know how to explain it. As it's a feeling that I can't even put into words. It's just vulnerability is the closest thing that I can think about. Like, even just being able to open up to someone and make it known how you feel. There's just something about feeling small there and facing the reality of that. Let's look at the Page of Swords for you. You might be someone who's not used to opening up, to be honest. So it's just, there's something about a small gesture with that Page of Pentacles, and I don't know if that's something to take in the first step. You know, like, say if you were you were dealing with literal grief, like grief because someone's passed away, and you knew that you were becoming a workaholic or whatever, or focusing on creative projects to deal with that. But it's like you might have recognized now it's not, I'm not still not doing well, and it might be a small step like going to your doctor or something. That might be a small gesture of going to your doctor, saying you're not doing well, requesting counseling. It could be about just physically going to someone and then opening up, but there's just something about a small gesture here. Right, so we have the Page of Swords that I've that I'm trying to clarify. So let's get a couple more for that. You've got the Ten of Cups. This is about expressing. It's about expressing and the need to express. And then you've got the Page of Pentacles, because there would be something quite self-nurturing about that, whether it is opening up and expressing what's going on with you. If you're avoiding emotions about how you feel, you might be feeling like this Five of Pentacles energy. I don't know if it, I mean, for some it could be left out in the cold, but just not feeling good in general overall. There's something about that here, not happy, and there's something self-nurturing about that. Or this Queen of Pentacles could be someone that you know that you could talk to if you're willing to open up. It can also be expression in the sense of again, of giving your time and energy to something that you love. But there may also be something here as well where, before I mentioned something about lacking the confidence, because maybe for some there's a sense of, oh well, it's not good enough anyway, so feeling like you just don't have enough. Feeling like you don't have enough. Maybe you want support in some way, shape or form with it, in what you want to create. But overall, there's something very it's values, isn't it? The Queen of Pentacles is values as well. So either way, there's something very self-nurturing and that's valuable to you by expressing whatever it is you want to express in the way that you want to express it. So I've got so many cards out. Right, that was all just for the Four of Wands, wasn't it? So that was about insecurity. So yes, I'm going to take all of these up because that was a lot. I think, right, those four can stay. So what can you learn in the present? Right, you've got the Two of Swords there. That can be like a deadlock, stalemate type energy, the two truths, which it appears is here, because I did say it looks like you're aware that there's a feeling of insecurity and wanting to come out of that. But then at some point you have to drop one sword. You can't hold the two swords up forever. You do have to drop one of them at some point and go with one truth. So what can we learn in the present with that Two of Swords? I feel like this was meant to be first, the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, that's in reverse, and I think the point is that it should be upright, but it's in reverse. And it's a need to open up, isn't it? Whether it's opening up creatively or in talking to someone about whatever's going on with you, because that changes things. Once you open up, that changes things, and then you can shine your light, put yourself out there, rebuild your confidence, whatever it is that you need, get your spark back, even if it's to do with grief and stuff like that. I'll have a look at the Knight of Wands, but I think it's the advice to learn is, it's like I said, you can't hold the two swords to forever. At some point you have to admit what you really want, what you really want to do, and go for it, to be honest. Knight of Wands, surrender, that surrender energy, make your dreams real. It said, didn't it, that you can't sort of sit there waiting for anything to happen. You have to initiate, or instigate, I think was the word that was used in that card. So this is that instigation or initiation with the Knight of Wands, yeah, because that's what will bring things together. But there's, yeah, can see there's anxiety there. I mean, that's a given with this kind of energy anyway. There's anxiety there. And confusion possibly as well, or reluctance. Let's have a look at that Knight of Swords. I mean, I already said that to me is about expressing. It's about opening up one way or another. Right, you've got the Seven of Swords and the Hierophant. Does someone feel in some way, shape or form that they're going to break some kind of rules by opening up? There's something about the status quo I'm getting with these energies, about possibly breaking the rules of the status quo or going against the status quo. There's something there about that. Because that King of Swords, I mean, obviously it's a level up from the Knight of Wands, isn't it? And it's like by speaking out, by expressing, there's something slightly, for some, there's something slightly rebellious about it. That for others, like say where, again, going back to that thing about using workaholism or whatever you want to call it, to avoid something. Somebody might feel a huge sense of responsibility here. Like say, for example, if you were grieving a spouse or something, and you're just trying to get on with the day-to-day and get on with work and or whatever you're doing to kind of distract yourself, is there any fear that you'll fall apart if you kind of speak up on how you are really feeling? Is there a bit of a facade at all of being strong and just getting on with it, which it is and it isn't a facade, isn't it? Because obviously if you're getting on with it, then obviously you have got some degree of strength, but then there's the point where it's like trying too hard, not being vulnerable enough to kind of admit where you're not feeling great, you know? And then that can lead to burnout, can't it? But as I say, there is the other side as well, where there's something about opening up is kind of, it might be rebelling a little bit against the status quo. Hopefully you get what that means. So what you can learn in the present is you can't hold the two swords forever, to be honest. If you want things to change, you kind of got to go with one truth. And it looks like it's advising you to go for what you want, or to do what needs to be done. That's another thing that came to mind, that term of do what needs to be done. So let's put these back here. Let's have a look at that. Two of Cups, Nine of Wands. That's a potential future energy. What do we need to know about the Two of Cups and Nine of Wands? Five of Wands. Seven of Wands, Two of Wands, and Temperance. I will be honest, I'm still getting a bit of reluctance in as a future energy. I'm still getting reluctance in terms of whether it's that you need support and understanding for whatever's going on with you, or that you need to that you're wanting to connect with whatever it is that you love. It still looks like a bit of a challenge, and that doesn't mean it'll last forever. But yeah, because we've got the kind of cards we've got here, it just looks like there's just somebody battling a load of shit, to be honest. With the 5 of Wands and the 7 of Wands, it's still an energy of, and even the 9 of Wands are very protective. There's an energy of dealing with battles. Definitely an energy of dealing with battles. But then you've got a choice in the future with the two of Wands there as well. Let's have a look at the 2 of Wands. Get one more for that. So the Hanged Man and the 9 of Wands. Yeah. The choice, it's like the 2 swords, isn't it? The choice of staying in limbo, or the choice of changing things, or going with the flow in terms of change, but there's anxiety in between that. Let me see if it'll tell me, what is this 5 of Wands and 7 of Wands? I mean, I guess if it's whatever you've got going on every day to day, whatever battles you fight in there is going to be very specific, isn't it, to each individual. So it may not. Well, I can say that for some it's that facade of doing well. It's the facade of doing well, whether it is doing well in terms of you've got a lot of shit going on emotionally, and you're maintaining a mask, which I'm not criticizing anyone for. We all do it at some point, maintaining a mask of being good, of being on top of things. Or again, there was that thing I mentioned about something about rebelling against the status quo. As I say, that of where there was that avoidance of trying to pursue a creative project or something that your heart really calls for. It might be that you feel it's just not worth your time and energy because you're more interested in maintaining a sense of stability, like financial stability, for example, would be one example, and that type of success. Let's get one more. Or again, the worries about lack of confidence with the creative stuff. Anything else? The Hermit. Three of Wands, Queen of Pentacles. It feels like the outward persona and what's going on internally are completely different, to be honest. With however you are, whatever persona you're putting on, it seems like it's a lot different from where you are internally. And you might really be keeping that to yourself with that Hermit energy. Let's have a look at Temperance quickly. There's a need to restore that sense of emotional balance with the Temperance card. Definitely. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at, because I have so many cards, I've written 2 of Cups and 9 of Wands. So as a future energy, as I said, it looks like it's still a bit of a battle in going for what you want. It's it doesn't look resolved. And obviously, depending on the choices you make, you know, you can change that, hopefully. But I think it's based on where you are now. It's just looking like it's not going to change soon, anytime soon. And it's probably based on your choices. Let's see what the advice is for that. And I'm not saying that in terms of blame. It's just this is the energy that's coming up. So what am I getting? Right, these. Taking these up. Just reluctance there. Reluctance to express, reluctance to open up even. Right, Knight of Pentacles. Let's see what comes up for that, and then we'll get your final card of advice. So the Nine of Pentacles is the advice going forward, isn't it? What do we need to know about that? What do we need to know about the Knight of Pentacles going forward? Emperor. The Hierophant. the Four of Pentacles, and Judgment. Okay, this might sound slightly corny, but it's telling you to take control of your destiny. Probably destiny is a bit of a dramatic way of putting it, but it's just with the Emperor there and then the Judgment card at the end. It is literally telling you to take control. Let me have a look at the Hierophant, because it's like, again, that thing about the status quo. The Hierophant is literally next to the Four of Pentacles. That is a card of holding back, isn't it? So it's making me wonder what this Hierophant is. I did say status quo, didn't I? So well, yeah, that same energy of looking that mask of appearing stable, secure. Yeah, let me see what else comes up for that Hierophant. Again, it's like masking any pain, masking any feelings of worry and uncertainty and insecurity even. So it looks like a mask is what could be holding you back, either way. That is a strange energy, but it's kind of, I think it calls upon you to be in control, and once you make your choice, be willing to commit to that, commit to yourself, commit to having the power to make the choice and not being held back by, I'll say, outside forces, outside influences. Let's look at the Judgment card. Knight of Pentacles is there again. Yeah, it's committing. Judgment, it's another chance. It's a new opportunity to commit to what you know, what you feel, what you need, what's best for you. What's genuinely best for you without the mask. Right, I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to get your final card of advice. I hope that made sense and it was helpful in some way, shape or form. Weird start to a Monday morning, but here we go. So I'm going to get you a message from the Oracle of the Shapeshifters. So message from Oracle of the Shapeshifters for the air signs who chose the work reading. Right, that came out so aggressively. How could I resist that? Right, and there's two of them as well. I love that it says creativity again, because it's just, yeah, it came up a few times. It says, once upon a midnight dreary. You know what? I've had this deck for years and I don't remember this card. I mean, I don't use the deck that often. I'd say moderately, but I don't remember this one. Once upon a midnight dreary. Creativity, genius, writing, expression, artistic flow. And you also have the fairy ring, new skills, advanced training, rapid improvement. So I will read, focus on this one here, the midnight dreary card. Hope you can actually see these clearly. Wondering if I should put them over here actually. I think we'll put them over here. Is that clearer? Or does it make no difference whatsoever? I don't think it makes any difference, does it? We'll put them over there for now. I'll have a brief look at the fairy ring card. That one comes up quite often when I use it in readings, but that one, I'm going to pay attention to that one more, because it doesn't come up as much, and obviously the creativity stuff is in there. Right, so I'll read just the divination message part for the fairy ring. It says, learning new skills, advancing in your talents, sharpening your reactions and senses, and following discipline and structure is important now. You are likely to take a course, study and gain solid credentials in a field you are looking at longingly. There will be an examination, a very important test of your skills to assess your suitability for a task, role, vocation and so forth. You must update and refresh your existing skills because the things are changing, have changed and will continue to change. This will excite you and you will discover joy and purpose in learning new skills. The course you take will have to do with holistic health, witchcraft, rituals or spell work, sensitivity and alertness, environmentalism or finances, savings and investment. The more flexible and adept you become in these areas, the more amazing your life will be every day. Train, work hard and hold your head high. You will soon have a chance to demonstrate why these new skills are so vital and important to many more people than just you. Right, so I think that message is mainly for those of you who've been avoiding a creative project that you've wanted to pursue. And it's sort of where, you know, I kept on saying for some you probably don't feel like you know enough or you might not be good enough. It's sort of encouraging you to learn, whether it is formally like going to study more or doing a course or something, or just to commit to giving yourself more time to develop it, to explore it and, you know, improve it in that way. Let's look at this one now, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary. Let's see what that says. So that one says, shall I read I'll read the whole thing. Ravens are omens, and here they are, omens of your creativity. They will fly about under moonlight, entering your dreams, speaking to you the words you may have been searching for, dropping toward you with a harsh voice that asks you to weave magic now. That's the same thing as that, similar energy to that. The best times for this act are the in-between times, the times that are ambiguous, paradoxical and magical. People who wish you to pursue a sensible path may feel concerned. That could be that hierophant that came up. People wishing you to pursue a sensible path. But it is far less healthy. Okay, bear with me 1 minute. Try again. But it is far less healthy for you to stop. Okay, sorry about that, air signs. Just want to say, if there's anybody out there who's suffering from anxiety, I mean, whether it is severe, minor, whatever, if you haven't already got support for it, don't be afraid to get support for it. Right, sorry, I'll continue. It says, it is far less healthy for you to stop listening. Right, so I'll start that sentence again. People who wish you to pursue a sensible path may feel concern, but it is far less healthy for you to stop listening to the voice of the divine. The ravens speak of law, and at this time the law says you must let the words flow, the images appear, the song be sung, or the dance be moved through. Do not think this creativity out. Let it come out as it will. You are not a pure vessel for spirit, no, but you are a being connecting with the creative divine, and in doing so you are contributing something soulful and magical to a world that becomes more and more mechanical and dead under the yoke of logic. You will liberate us all and teach us through the power of imagination. So it says, you have at present a wonderful clear connection to the divine, and so the sacred is speaking through you. It may be through your hands, and a painting may come. Through the air, a poem may thunder toward you, and it is your role at this time to write it down, because the creative joy and impulse is not yours. It does not belong to you, but it must be caught for a time, brought through into this world via your body, and brought to life in this world by your work and holy acts. You are a creative being, and not only does this mean working with the creative genius, the muse, the demon, all about you, it means sweat, strain, and hard work for a time. It means you will turn up for work when the muse seems aloof. You will never recreate the divine perfectly on paper, but you will bring through something of its essence. You must know this is not you, and when people say it is your writing or your work that they admire, know it is your dedication to the divine that has brought it through. Speak the words of the poet, sing the song, paint the images previously unseen by human eyes, walk between the worlds, but keep 1 foot here always so we can bring you back to create once again safely. The divination message says, it is time to shape your dreams into reality. Start that book and keep going. I think I said that at the beginning tonight if anyone wants to write a book. Paint that picture and then another and another. Capture the divine moment in inspiration and then by hard work show up and sweat until it is shaped and completed. You are engaging in sacred magic. You are being asked by the spirits of the world and the laws of the raven and the bright, full moonlit magic to contribute creatively, to be touched by the spirit of inspiration. This may not make you rich or well known or even happy, but it will satisfy a deep urge, a craving, a thirst within you. Take steps now to become a crafter of magic through creativity. You are being told that it is the law that you do so and that you complete the work. Work hard. Learn about yourself and capture the divine moment for all of our sakes. So obviously that message spoke more about the theme of avoiding a creative project. So that one was more for the people avoiding a creative project. And what was the advice? It was to go for it, wasn't it, really? I still stand by what I said about if there's anyone who's using their work or creative projects as a distraction. It's not saying stop doing that, but make sure whatever's going on with you emotionally, mentally, whatever, that gets dealt with as well, and addressed, so that you have a proper balance in your life, that you're not just kind of obsessing over this one thing. And also, if you are someone who sort of becomes a workaholic, or you become obsessed with your creative stuff as a way to avoid certain emotions, you can end up having blocks, can't you, because you're forcing it. I mean, I've had that experience where I've written quite a bit, actually. I've written stuff, and when I've thought to myself, oh, I really want to write something, nothing comes out. But then the times that I actually wrote, like, I was pretty obsessive about it, I'm not going to lie, because I do become fixated, like, where I'll get up in the middle of the night thinking, right, I've got an idea, I've got to write it right now at 4 a.m, even if I've got other stuff to do early in the morning. When you don't force it, it comes natural, it flows, it just wants to flow out of you, but you can't force that. So yeah, overall balance. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. Take care. Welcome back to those of you who chose deck 2. So let's see what you have. You have the general reading. Okay. So as I said, the messages are for anyone whose sun, moon or rising sign is an air sign, Libra, Gemini or Aquarius. I'm going to put this aside a minute and get the other decks ready for this reading. I have like a million decks around me at this moment in time. So with the general reading, it can be anything relating to just day-to-day life, or it could be something very specific and significant for you. So let's just get them ready. Right, so let's first of all get you an oracle card message from that is very coincidental, from the Everyday Witch oracle deck. So you have the oracle deck and the tarot deck, and that's not how I'd planned it, because I didn't know what which one was going to be the general, which one was going to be the romantic, whatever. So it's pretty coincidental that they've ended up together. But anyway, let's see what your theme is for the general reading. So for those who chose deck 2, the general reading, what is the theme? That was quick. You have affirmation for acceptance. So we'll put that there. And I'm also going to get you a card from the gods and guardians, angels and ancestors deck. So what's the message from the angels and ancestors deck? So what does group 2 need to know for the general reading? You have 2. So you've got Lord, take charge with authority. That's kind of like the Emperor energy. And you also have Sage, be devoted and committed. So I'm going to put that one there, that one there, and then that one there. And I'm going to be reading the one from the Everyday Witch Oracle. So just bear with me, because this has a really wacky index as well. I'm going to guess that's air energy, because it's ordered in terms of elements in this deck, and yeah, it's hard to tell. It doesn't have numbers on it, so it doesn't help. Yeah, it is air. Okay, that's coincidental. It's air energy. This is actually air energy. So page 49. Right, so it says, there is a prayer that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Okay, sometimes no, I was just thinking about another reading that I did and thinking I was trying to do the quote and I was going to, I butchered the quote in another reading. Not in this batch, but last week. But anyway, it says, sometimes no matter how hard we try, there are circumstances or realities that we can't alter. Illnesses, broken relationships, lost jobs. There are, unfortunately, plenty of things in our lives we can't fix. It can be difficult not to keep fighting, but sometimes battling the unchangeable just uses up time and energy that would be better used in more productive ways. Sometimes what we really need is simply the serenity to accept those things we cannot change and the wisdom to know when it is time to do so. For a practical exercise, make a list. On one side, list the things that you don't like about your life that you have some control over and make some concrete plans for how to change them. On the other side, list the things about your life that make you unhappy and that you have no control over whatsoever. Give some thought to how much of your energy is going toward being angry and frustrated about those things and how much time you spend fighting the impossible or just plain complaining. Once you've contemplated it for a while, take that half of the list and rip it into shreds. Then let the tiny pieces of paper go the next time there is a strong wind. The divination message says, this card is probably trying to tell you that there is something you need to simply accept. You almost certainly know that what it is already. You just need a nudge to let go and let Goddess. Whatever it is, be kind to yourself and stop fighting. Take a deep breath, admit that there are some battles you can't win and move on. And there's another little message here. It says, the magic message says, sometimes it can be tough to accept that fate or the gods might have plans that are different from the ones you had. It's okay to ask for help. Here is a simple prayer for acceptance and peace. Dab a little lavender essential oil on a white candle or rub some of the herb, dried or fresh, between your palms. Let the power of air carry the healing, calming scent inside you and breathe slowly and deeply. Light the candle and say, God and Goddess, please give me the strength to accept the things I cannot change. Help me to be strong enough to let go and wise enough to know when it is time to do so. Let me make peace with the parts of my life that are outside of my control and guide me so I might use my energy wisely. Give me peace and serenity, so mote it be. Then sit and breathe for a while. If you are struggling with acceptance, carry a small lavender sachet or dab a bit of essential oil on your clothing or a tissue tucked into your pocket so the aroma will remind you of this spell. Right, so as I said, I'm only reading that message. I'm going to get the tarot cards. I meant to do that before I read the message, but it's too late now, so nothing I can do about that. It's already happened. Right, so I think I keep looking at that Sage card, and these cards from the Angels and Ancestors deck, for the most part, they are pretty self-explanatory, but I feel like I need to look at that Sage one. So let me get the tarot cards out, and then I'll have a brief look at that. So what's the main focus here, or the main energy, main focal point? What's going on here for this group, for the general reading? So you have Judgment. So past energies. Right, Six of Wands. Anything we can learn from that? So you've got the, excuse me, you've got the Two of Pentacles and the Justice card here. Present energy. Six of Cups, Four of Pentacles. There is something here about not being held back from the past, or not being held back by the past. And I'm also getting something about as well what may have felt like success in the past might not feel the same now. We'll elaborate on that, but let's see what else comes out. So what can we learn in the present? You've got the Eight of Wands, and let's get you a potential future energy. You've got the Page of Cups and the Two of Wands. This feels in the as a future energy kind of like along the lines of being more authentic or making a more authentic choice. Let's see what advice there is going forward or for the future. Seven of Cups. Okay. Right, so as I said, I'm going to look at that, say, okay, I wonder if, yeah, that kind of makes sense now, actually. I think I understand why that came out now. So it says, be devoted and committed, the Sage card does. And I'm wondering, is it referring to being devoted and committing to yourself and your authenticity? But let's see what it says. It says, the main message, be willing to go the whole road and back again. This will allow you to be the best you can possibly be. Sorry about that pause. It's just I live in an apartment building and I can hear noises that sometimes it sounds like somebody's in my actual apartment with me, even though it's just me. So it gets a little bit creepy sometimes. Right, so a key thing that stands out here is, it says, this card is also about observation and becoming more aware of who you are and all of your inner workings, because that awareness can bring more clarity to your decisions. So I'll read the extended message. It's brief. Devotion is a powerful energy. Right now, angels and ancestors want to acknowledge how committed you are to your growth. Your continued dedication to this aspect of your life has been recognized, and your understanding that you are not only a body but also a soul is all you need to continue growing and expanding. The energy of oneness is offering itself to you now, and it is important you take some time to integrate it all so that you can be supported and guided by it. This is what the divine wants for you. Make a note of experiences or teachers making themselves known to you at this time, because you are going to share those teachings one day too. It's the bit where it said how committed you are to your growth. I mean, growth, authenticity, to me it's connected. Let's get the clarifiers out and see what comes up. So first of all, the Judgment card. For a minute there, I thought the video was paused. That was strange. Okay. Ignore me. Right, Judgment. Why is Judgment there, please? We've got the Queen of Wands. Yeah, that is very much, I mean, I've said it before with this particular Judgment card. For me, it's about going off on your own path, dancing to the beat of your own drum, that kind of energy. So you've got the Queen of Wands there, the Nine of Cups, that supports that to me. Whether that's what's needed or that's what you want to do. You've got the Seven of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. You might be in a bit of two minds about that, to be honest. Or, I mean, I mentioned at the beginning where it said whatever it is that felt like success to you in the past, it just doesn't feel the same now. And it might be that you recognize that and you want a new path, a new direction, but you're not 100% sure what that should be, where you should put your efforts, what the opportunities that you want. Let's have a look at the Seven of Pentacles. You may also feel that there's a lack of growth. Whatever you've done in the past, like you've successfully done it, but it's just like, well, there's no more room for growth now. And that might be what the acceptance is about, is that needing to accept that that chapter's done, to be honest, that you've come as far as you can in that particular situation. Let's look at the Seven of Pentacles. Justice in reverse. Three of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. Yep. What once served you, what once was growth, success, whatever, it's not the same anymore. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, maybe for some it's doesn't feel good anymore, but I think for the most part it's more about the growth of it, that it's just not, there's nowhere else to go now. There's nothing else to do. It's time for to commit to something different, or to commit to a new direction, or just something where there can be more growth. I mean, you've got it's almost saying here, well, not almost. Obviously, with Justice and the Three of Pentacles there, it's like it's again, there's no more growth now. But as I said, Knight of Pentacles is like committing to a new direction, to new progression, a new movement, a new movement. Okay, whatever that means for someone, and sort of moving on with that Six of Swords energy. Let's get a couple for the Ace of Pentacles. It's a new need for a new journey, to be honest. So you've got the Tower there. Why is the Hanged? I've got the deck upside down, that's why. Or have I? No, I haven't actually. It's just those two cards were in reverse for some strange reason. Okay, try that again. What else comes after the Tower? You've got the Two of Pentacles. Seven of Cups. Three of Wands, Five of Swords. So you may recognize that you want something different, to be honest, with these cards, but it's just whatever was once an opportunity, yeah, it's not anymore. It's not anymore now. It's time for something different. You may have been in something where you've been trying to keep it going with that Two of Pentacles, getting on with it, getting on with the day-to-day, but it's like, you know, there's more out there for you. So I'll leave that. And we will get onto the past energy, which was the Six of Wands. So Six of Wands. Six of Wands. Right, why is the Six of Wands there, please? You've got the Three of Wands. I'm going to try that again because they just sort of chaotically came out. So Six of Wands, what else do we need to know for that? If it will ever come out. Six of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Two of Cups, Three of Cups. Okay, let me look at the Three of Wands. Get one more for that. Okay. Just bear with me a minute. So with that Three of Wands in reverse, it feels like, as I say, it looks like there was something you were successful with, or you achieved something in the past, but it's almost like with that Three of Wands, you may have gotten to a point where you questioned your intentions after a certain point of time. Like, it's not saying it was all bad, but again, that sort of coming to a realization that you've done as much as you can there, and it's a time to kind of move on, progress, whatever you want to call it. And you might have even got to a point where you questioned if you really want it as well. Let me get something for that Two of Cups. I said Two of Cups and Three of Cups, didn't I? So strength, the King of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. So with the Knight of Pentacles there, it's contemplating what you want to commit to. I mean, obviously you've got the Six of Swords there. So it's, as I say, with questioning the intentions, it's almost that thought that you kind of want to move on and commit to something new or learn something new, even with the Knight of Pentacles being there, because it can be that apprentice type energy. I feel like that Two of Cups is a need to be understood. Maybe it's whether you decision, a desire to have your decision understood, or whatever choice you make, you want that to be understood. With these cups cards as well here at the end, the Two of Cups and Three of Cups, it can even be just a desire to explore outside of the like, say if a big part of what you were successful in involved other people in some way, shape or form, it's wanting to explore outside of that group possibly, and see what you can build and create and learn outside of that group, whether it is literally to do with a job and you work with a particular group of people, or it's a community related thing, your family, but just something where it's a need to pursue a different path now and accept that things have peaked, is one way of putting it, I guess. Right, I'm going to put these away and move on to, I think, the advice under that. So the Two of Pentacles and Justice. The first thing that comes to mind, so this is what you can learn from that Six of Wands energy. So for me, the Two of Pentacles and Justice in reverse, it's an energy where you're doing what you need to do or what you're supposed to do, but is it really fair to you? Is it really what you want? That's what comes up. That's the kind of question that comes up, seeing those two cards together. I mean, they're both cards of balance, aren't they? Like, you're physically balancing it, but does it really genuinely, authentically feel balanced, like the right balance for you? So let's look at that Two of Pentacles. You may even be someone that a group of people looked up to, and that's why you continued with that. But it's like, yeah, but you're not able to grow anymore now in this situation. So Two of Pentacles and the Justice card. So you have the Empress, and she is about growth, isn't she? In general, you'd say she's about growth. Let's see what else comes up. The Chariot. No. You've got the Moon. You have the Lovers and the Six of Pentacles. So it gives the impression that you may have, at that point, although it's looking like you have been successful. Again, there's that thing about maybe people looking up to you as well, and that having an impact on why you did what you did or stayed in the situation you were in. It's like a desire, because sometimes for me, the Two of Pentacles, bear with me. Okay, sorry, just a low battery. Yeah, as I was saying, the Two of Pentacles for me can be sometimes balancing your values with external values, whether it's the values of other people, society, whatever, that you feel that you need to balance both. So if I can remember what I was saying now, it's like a desire for more growth here, or to create something new, and it's even like the Chariot is looking to the Empress to say, right, okay, you want to create something new, you want to grow, where to? Where do we go? Because the Chariot it transports you there, doesn't it? But it's almost hidden. So it's almost like, I'm wondering if whatever you were doing in the past, and it could still be going on now, to be honest, were you kind of keeping it to yourself, that there was something else that you wanted to do, but you kind of felt responsible. Obvious example is where, like where somebody is like a main carer or something, or the person that everyone looks up to in their family, but they kind of want to pursue a different path. Like say if you work for a family business and you want to pursue your own path, but your family heavily relies on you in the business. I mean, it's not like they're going to completely fall apart without you, but you just feel heavily responsible towards them, and it's like, oh well, I've got to keep it to myself. I've just got to keep going, keep doing this with them, and you know, keep my thoughts and desires to myself. Let's have a look at the Lovers card, because that is what you love, isn't it? That would be what you love. But with the Six of Pentacles, it's almost like, well, that sense of responsibility. So let's have a look at the Lovers. Three of Swords, Devil. For me, this looks like the pain of holding back the truth, to be honest. Even, I mean, for some, you may have had something specific in mind that you would rather be moving towards, or a path you would be want to choose instead of whatever it was here. Or for others, it may just be that knowing that you want to do something different, but feeling so tied down, possibly, or having so many other obligations that there's just a bit of pain there where it's like, I just can't. I'd like things to be different. I'd like to do something more or something new, but I can't. I've got to keep it to myself. So what can you learn? What can you learn from this energy? Decide what really matters to you. Decide what your values are and what's most important. I mean, obviously, if there's something with family and stuff like that, then obviously your family is going to be important to you. But in maintaining those obligations, where does it stop becoming fair to you? Like, can there be a compromise where you still do the honorable thing, but you don't, it's not at the detriment of yourself, if that makes sense? Compromise, I think that would be the key word there. What's the compromise? If a compromise is required. I mean, in some situations it's like there can't be, you know. So let's have a look at the Six of Cups and the Four of Pentacles. And I said initially that was like the past holding you back, didn't I? So let's have a look at Six of Cups and Four of Pentacles. That's moved. So you've got the Four of Wands. I'm going to try that again. It was the King of Wands, but it didn't feel right the way it flipped. Right, you've got the Four of Pentacles, Two of Swords. Four of Pentacles is there twice, so that's I mean, all three of them are cards have been held back, aren't they? Really. And again, that thing about growth with that Four of Wands being in reverse, it's like there's no more growth here. Even with the Four of Pentacles, that is a card where it tells you there's no more growth. So as I say, it's like being held back by the past in some way, shape or form. Right, Temperance. Let's look at the Two of Swords and Temperance. So Two of Swords first. You've got the Hanged Man and you've got the Nine of Wands. That, I mean, that's reluctance, straight up, it's reluctance. The Hanged Man is someone who's in limbo, even if they're trying to figure it out themselves. And then for me, the Nine of Wands, it can feel like reluctance. Let's get one more for that. See that? That fell in reverse or flipped in reverse. Temperance. Let's look at Temperance. Yeah. Nine of Swords. Six of Cups. I think it's meant to be in reverse. Yeah, right. King of Wands, Ten of Pentacles, the Star. There's anxiety about going for what you want. There really is. And as I say, there's something about that past holding you back in some way, shape or form. Whether it's past obligations, past success, whatever. There's something about the past holding you back. There's a very strong sense of reluctance in being held back here. From whatever it is, from obviously from doing what it is that you want to do. But yeah, let's see what we can learn from that, and then see what the potential future energies are for you. I mean, the main part of the advice may be a need to accept that things aren't going to change where you are. that it is like accepting that it is the past now. It needs to be history. I know that sounds like a weird way of putting it, but you know, like for example, in relationships, like when relationships end and people still kind of hold on to the hope that someone's weird noises in the flat again. Yeah, like when relationships end, or say it's a marriage, because that's a more it's very understandable, isn't it? If a marriage ends and you kind of separated and there's hope, you sort of feeling that sense of hope that you can fix it. And it's like it gets to a point where obviously for some you can't fix it. It gets to a point where you have to accept that no, it's done now. This is history. Like the past, you can't get it to be like it might have worked in the past, but then you get to a point where it's like no, it's finished now. You may have hope that it will work out, but it's like no, it can't. It can't ever go back to the way it was. It's finished. It's done. It's history. It needs to be history, and there's kind of a need to accept. As painful as it is, there's a need to accept that it's over. I think I forgot to say with that Temperance card, a need for emotional balance as well. But yeah, right. So 8 of Wands. Let's see what that says. That's what we can learn from this one. Let's see. Try that again. That did not feel good. So you've got the Page of Pentacles. Oh, okay, I get it. I think that's a feeling of being overwhelmed, to be honest. So you've got the Page of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, the Queen of Swords. Anything else? Let me get one for the Queen of Swords. I think I know what that means, but let's try that again. Not of Wands, do I take it? Okay, yeah, I will take it, because I did think it was about knowing what you want, to be honest. And being able to set boundaries with that as well. If there is whatever's holding you back, being able to set boundaries and say, this is not going to hold me back anymore. I have the choice. There's something about risk. Well, Knight of Wands is a card of risk as well, but with the Seven of Swords, is the way that Page of Pentacles is looking at the Seven of Swords very tentatively. There's something about risk there. I feel like the thing of what you can learn in the present is if there are any feelings of being overwhelmed in terms of deciding to change things, deciding to pursue a new path, wanting more growth, it's to try not to allow that feeling of being overwhelmed in terms of making a choice or worrying about balancing values and obligations and stuff, not letting that get to you. As easy as that sounds, it's easier said than done, but not letting it get to you. Let me look at the Page of Pentacles. I mean, it is a card of wanting a new, like planting a new seed as well, isn't it? But as I say, there's a risky element with the Seven of Swords. So you've got the Ace of Swords, yeah, because that's knowing that you want to plant a new seed. It's about the action. It's the thought of taking action that seems overwhelming, doesn't it? It's got the Death card. And what else? Okay, all that's telling me is that you know things need to change, or you want things to change. Let's have a look at the Two of Wands. Actually, let's have another look at the Queen of Swords. Six of Cups. I think a big thing is about moving on from the past, accepting what's been, and being ready, being devoted to enough to yourself and your growth to move forward, to take the lead and move forward. Eight of Pentacles. It's time for change. It's just a time for change in terms of whatever. Again, it's just letting go of the past. Whatever you were focused on, whatever you gave your time, effort and energy to in the past, it's time for a new direction. It really looks like it's time for a new direction, then accepting that that's done as much as it can, and it's time to make some new choices. But as I say, there's a thing about being overwhelmed, about taking action. It doesn't really tell you how to get over those feelings of being being overwhelmed, does it? Let's have a look at the Two of Wands. I guess when the full advice comes up, that might help you, but Seven of Wands. I mean, that to me, with the Two of Wands, that's standing up for the path that you want to choose. I think, for the most part, what it's saying in the present energy is that being stuck on the past is holding you back, and it's making you feel overwhelmed in terms of moving forward now. I think that's what I'd take from that. It's part of the struggle, that holding on to the past. So it's almost like a fear or reluctance of letting go. So let's look at the Page of Cups and the Two of Wands in the potential future energy. I mean, I did say at the beginning, that's like doing something more authentic, or choosing a more authentic path. So Page of Cups, Two of Wands, what do we need to know for you? And I am going to take them. That was a little bit chaotic, but I will take them. So we've got the Eight of Swords, Four of Swords. Whoa, that's a lot of heavy energy. Right, there's a lot of kids here. I feel that someone here, at least one person here, is going to may feel like an arsehole for choosing their own path. Again, you know, like if you've got obligations to people who are close to you, and yeah, there's something about that there. But someone also may feel, or some of you may also feel very vulnerable about choosing your own path as well. There's a sense of vulnerability with that too. It doesn't look like a firm decision's been made here. It looks like the feelings. It's more like the being in your feelings about it still. Knowing that there's a choice to make. I suppose it's one step away from being stuck, possibly. Let's have a look at the Eight of Swords, because I suppose that is still an energy of being stuck, isn't it? Someone doesn't want to be an arsehole with that Five of Swords there. Let's have a look at the Eight of Swords. So I've got the Eight of Swords. There's a desire for freedom there, with the Eight of Swords being clarified by the Eight of Wands and Knight of Swords. There's a desire to be free to pursue your path, to express yourself. The Four of Swords, for me, it's thinking a lot about things, how to do it, how to escape, etc. Five of Swords, let's have a look at that. You've got the Knight of Cups, Eight of Cups. I don't know why that Five of Swords is giving me that energy of someone being like, oh, I really want to pursue this path or do such and such, but I'm gonna be an arsehole if I do that, because you feel, for whatever reason, and you may not be wrong, that there's some kind of detriment, or it may hurt someone's feelings or something, but there's that vibe there with the Five of Swords, that it's going to be not harmful, but it's going to upset. Let's say upset. It might upset someone else if you go for what you want. Let's look at the Page of Swords. Ten of Swords. Eight of Wands. King of Swords, okay. I think with that Page of Swords there, it's kind of an indication that speaking up kind of ends that chapter so that you can move on. And it's strange because with that, it's Page of Swords, and then you get the progression up to the King of Swords. It's almost as if, I wonder if by speaking up, it gives you more confidence in some way, shape or form. Or it has the potential to give you more confidence. So yeah, overall for the potential future energy, it does look like you're kind of in your head a little bit with it and in your feelings with it, undeciding what to do, but the desire is there. The desire is there to change things, to pursue your path. And as I say, if you speak up about it, it could give you a greater sense of confidence. Right, we'll leave that there and we'll see what we can learn from that. So, I mean, the first thing you can learn from with the Seven of Cups is that you have the choice. You have the choice to choose what feels right to you, what feels best for you. So, Seven of Cups. We've got the Seven of Wands, the Hermit, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, I like that. That advice, as I say, it's an energy of choice and standing up for what you want, who you are, what you want to build, what you want to create, whatever you feel, why do I want to say compelled? Compelled to pursue is there as well. You have the choice. I think that's the key energy there. Let's get you a final card of advice from the postcards from Spirit deck. So final card of advice for air signs who've got the general reading. Final card of advice for air signs who got the general reading, if I can actually shuffle. Right, bear with me. It's so awkward when they fall at a certain angle because it's like if your stool goes on it, it can rip it to shreds. But anyway. Right, so you have this one. I feel like this is the same as that. Which one was it? Was it this one? Am I thinking of this one? No, I'm thinking of another message now, actually. It gets confusing when you do lots of readings at the same time. But anyway, right. It says, Dearest you, do you ever wonder whether your ideas and inspiration might be coming through your soul rather than generated from your mind alone? We are here to tell you we are always whispering in your ear about your highest good. We are conduits for spirit, letting you know you are a living channel for this awesome co-creative energy. When you're feeling inspired, it means you heard us. Inspiration means spirit is breathing through you. Inspiration needs your human passion to keep it going so you can make a difference in the world. So keep moving on what inspires you. Let yourself be led into new experiences and know that this is why you are on the earth. Your purpose is to discover your spirited nature and to bring forth through your efforts whatever is meant to be. Wondrous miracles have a way of showing up when you let inspiration propel you forward. You are so loved. So to me, that is a message. It's a message of growth, but it's sort of, again, it's telling you that you probably feel that it's time to grow more, and whatever it is that inspires you, whatever you feel compelled, I'll say again, towards, accept that the past is done. You've come as far as you can in that now, and it's time to, if you're committed to yourself and your own growth, it's time to do things differently or do something new now. And it's not, I mean, maybe for some it is about a whole new life, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's just about pursuing one new thing, isn't it? That really, you don't even realize how much growth you can gain from that. But anyway, I'll leave your message there. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, comment on the video. And if you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. Take care. Welcome back again to those of you who chose deck 3. So let's see what you got. You have the relationship reading. So again, the messages are for anyone whose sun, moon or rising sign is an air sign. Let's put this aside and we're going to start off with some messages for you from the Whispers of Love deck, first of all. So what does group 3, who chose the relationship reading, need to know? What does group 3 need to know? What does group 3 need to know? This deck is quite heavy as well. Nope. Group 3, anything at all. Nope, that's too many. Try that again. That was like 3 cards. Group 3. I think that's probably 3 as well, but we'll take them. They flipped a bit more. Yeah, that is 3. Right, you are limitless, you can do anything you choose. Forgiveness, nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. Receive with love and appreciation, gracious acceptance is a way to show love. And let's get you a message from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck as well. I can see that's blurred. Right, hopefully, I don't know if you can see the bottom one there. Yeah, okay. So a card from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck as well. What do air signs who got the relationship reading need to know? Right, self-worth. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I'll look at this one, completion. I'm going to put that back, but the self-worth one makes sense. Let's read the message and I'll get you tarot cards out first. So that's the self-worth message. Because when that forgiveness card came out, I was almost thinking, is this to do with more along the lines of a past experience? Well, it would be a past experience if it's forgiveness, but when I say past experience, you know, like if it was a romantic relationship, like ancient past, you know, like where you may have had experiences 5 years ago, or a bad experience with someone 5 years ago, and it's impacting the relationship you have now. That's what I mean when I say like it felt more like a distant type energy. But anyway, let's have a look at your tarot cards and see what comes up. So what's like the main focal point or the main energy? What's the main focal point for the relationship reading for air signs? Right, I will take that. So you've got this Lovers and the Six of Swords. Yeah, see, even with that, it's almost like needing to, and it may not be romantic, but, so I forgot to say actually, with the relationship reading, so yes, romantic is the first thing that comes to mind, but it can be about any relationship or interaction with anyone in your life at all, whether it is your best friend, your grandma, your granddad, your mum, your dad, your uncle, brother, sister, the postman, the shopkeeper, people at work, whoever. It's just any significant, anything that's going on in a relationship at present that's significant. Yeah, I was going to say like moving on from the past, leaving the past behind to move forward. And obviously if there's something where forgiveness was required in a past relationship, I mean, sometimes forgiveness can be ourselves and another person as well. Past experiences can affect your self-worth, can't they? But let's let's see what else comes up. So past energy, strength. Let's see what you can, nope, chaotically. Let's see what you can learn from that. Ten of Pentacles, King of Wands. That is a pleasant energy for the past. I mean, I don't know what it means yet. We'll find out when we clarify, but let's look at the current present energy. If it will come out. That's too many, I'm afraid. So, although you did get the Wheel of Fortune, that was the first. So, present energy. That's still too many. Just bear with me. Present energy. Right, there we go. Two of Cups. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody was in a relationship now, like let's say romantically, if someone was in a relationship now, a new one, and there's something about the past that's impacting the current relationship. Let's look at what you can learn in the present, or what you need to know in the present. Devil, yeah. I mean, that's things that hold you back. It can be negative thought patterns, etc. So, yeah, that can relate to self-worth as well. Let's have a look at potential future energies. The Empress. I mean, that's a good energy to have in the future. That's just, I've said previously, I can't remember what reading it was now, ages ago, that the Empress, I think it might have been in a Capricorn reading actually, that if there was ever a situation where someone had an argument, and you say you were in a relationship with the Empress and you had an argument, she would be the one that forgives, wouldn't she? She would get to the point of being very forgiving. And for me, it's also an energy where even if you've had bad experiences, you're not bitter about it. Not saying that to blame or shame anyone, because obviously if you go through a bad experience, it's natural to have some period of time where you feel bitter, but it's like you move past that. You might experience it, but you move past that, and then you're kind of open and nurturing and welcoming again, and you know that you can create you have the power to kind of at least try to create a relationship that you want, even if you've had past experiences that weren't great. So let's see what the advice is for the future energy. I would say it's more likely romantic, to be honest. And then you've got the King of Cups there as well. That, for me, the King of Cups is often, one of the meanings can be about emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, and connecting with the Empress there and that nurturing energy. Yeah, so I would say it does feel more aligned along the lines of romantic. For at present, it doesn't have to be, but that's the main thing that's coming up. Apply it as it's relevant, because the messages can still be relevant even if you're not in a romantic relationship. But it does seem to be a theme of a past experience, like getting over past experiences that may have impacted your self-worth, etc., and being able to move forward with more hope is one thing. But let's see. Let's read that message first of all, that self-worth message, and see what comes up for that. So from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, right, self-worth. Oh, I love this. So it's got a brief message, and then I'll read the proper, well, not the proper, the fuller message, right? So it says, salmon is the color of deep emotional peace. So I think salmon, am I reading the right one? Yeah, I am actually. Okay, it's because I'm looking at something else. Ignore me altogether. It's Monday morning. As I said, I don't function that well on Mondays, right? Salmon is the color of deep emotional peace. You have been given a gift of self-love. This card indicates a love of life and no longer trying to prove your value to others who may not see what you see. Rely on your inner knowing. So I love that message about not trying to prove yourself, because especially with the way the society is now, it's like everybody's constantly trying to prove themselves, whether it's trying to prove how attractive, and I'm not saying it to criticize them, it's just the pressure that people feel, trying to prove how attractive you are, successful. There's always something where there's a need to prove how, whatever, something. So it says, the salmon chair, self-worth, the salmon chair. Come sit in my chair and feel my love, says the great servant. So the legend says, the salmon chair appears to an Inuit child playing in the snow. Valley and river are the salmon chair's protectors. I never get to see it, complains river. Valley whispers. Valley whispers, there are those who can close their eyes and see it. The child rushes home to tell her elders about the chair, but no one believes her, and she lies down exhausted. Later the chair appears to her again. She climbs in and feels the great servant's love. The inspiration says, people, events, and material objects beyond your frame of reference are being drawn to you. Aim higher, for you will draw even greater experiences into your life. Allow your energy to grow. Receiving is an action. So the personal inquiry says, how do I relate to the word deserving? Am I ready to allow myself to receive what others may not? What does it say here? Receive with love and appreciation. Key ideas: greater knowledge, innocent curiosity being rewarded, receiving divine love. Key words: faith, self-love, value. Yeah, there is a meditation, but I'm not going to read that. But yeah, there really could be something here where someone's self-worth has been impacted by previous experiences, and it's just a time now to move beyond all of that and just value yourself and anybody that you're involved with as well. You know, be open, be willing to give it a chance. But let's get your clarifiers. So for the Lovers and the Six of Swords, I mean, as I said, it almost looks like moving on from the past to move towards a new relationship connection. And the fact that the Two of Cups is directly under it as well. Right, Lovers, Six of Swords, please. What do we need to know? Page of Swords. The first word that came to mind with that was learning. So again, it could be learning about your self-worth, learning about what genuine love and support is or feels like, what it is and what it's not. King of Pentacles. So that's, I mean, for me, the Ace of Cups is the self-love card. So the King of Pentacles here, it can represent both you and a partner. Well, for one, in terms of a partner, whether you're a man or a woman, we're talking about the energy. So yeah, focus on the energy, not the gender of the person. It would be a stable partner, wouldn't it? That would be a stable partner. It's Pentacles. I know we don't often think of the King of Pentacles as nurturing, as I've said before, but he is. He might be more practically nurturing. And actually, this brings to mind something I was thinking of, actually, in terms of love languages. But the Queen of Pentacles is nurturing. So to me, her partner is as well. It's just that it's just in a slightly different way. Like I was actually thinking for a couple of days, actually, and probably because of some podcasts that I've listened to about love languages and relationship related stuff. And I'd noticed this running theme with the men in the podcast, that they and I compared it to men in my life as well, like family members, that there's a theme of the love language being acts of service, like practical support. And that made me think of this. That comes back to that King of Pentacles. Like if the King of Pentacles was a love language, it would probably be, well, maybe gifts to a certain extent, but acts of service. He's practical. He builds. He's the one that would provide a stable. He'd be there, he'd provide a stable home for you, he'd build, he'd keep working on things. It's all very practical. Not to say you can't be loving and affectionate as well, but it's all practical. And as I say, I thought about the men in my life, like uncles, granddad, dad, those kind of people. And the way they showed, because some of them are no longer with us, it was very much through acts of service, doing things, fixing things, making sure that you have what you need to survive. Those sorts of things. So it was really interesting thinking of that and seeing the King of Pentacles. And as I say, if you're learning about self-worth and your values and what genuine love and support is, part of that is a partner who is physically, practically there for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, as air signs, it probably would be more, you sort of think of air signs, love language being is it words of affirmation, which is fine, but it almost makes you wonder it's probably not that one love language is more important than the other necessarily, but obviously with words, people can say anything, can't they? Look at love bombing and stuff like that. It's like you need the proof. You need them to show you. You need to be shown. I think that's the point I'm getting at. After saying all of that, it's being shown. It says receive with love and appreciation. Gracious acceptance is a way to show love. So whatever the person does, whatever someone does, it's showing appreciation and accepting that they're doing for you, even if they're not the kind of person who's all lovey-dovey and hardcore romantic and whatever. It's sort of observing their actions and what they do, and if that proves that they genuinely do love and support you, because the words alone aren't enough, they need to be backed up. Don't know why I'm on that trick, but yeah. So as I say, moving on from the past towards a new connection and possibly learning about what it all means, what love means, what a solid partner is, that sort of thing. So I'll leave that and let's move on to the past energies. So strength, what do we need to know about strength? I have a thought, but let's see what comes out for it. I would say a past experience required you to have strength, and yeah, I think a past experience would have required you to have strength, because it looks like with the World and Two of Cups, I almost feel like the Two of Cups should be there actually. A relationship ended. It looks like a significant connection ended with the Two of Cups in reverse there, and the World being there as well, and it required you to be strong. Let's see what else comes up. Yeah, Nine of Cups. Yeah. Right, I'm going to look at the Judgment card on its own. So yeah, again, the Nine of Cups for me, it kind of reiterates that where a relationship started out well, very likely, yeah, it ended. Let's look at Judgment. So for some, there could be a second chance actually because of that Judgment card being there. So yeah, initially it felt like it's a different, whatever's gone in the past, that's long in the past and it's a different relationship. But yeah, for some, it could be a second chance with the same person. That is one possibility. Right, Judgment, let's have a look at that. King of Cups is there again. The Lovers. Right, so we also have the Empress, the Ten of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. So again, the Judgment card, yes, it could be a second chance, but it almost feels like learning as well, because the world, when a cycle ends, it's something that's ended successfully. And I know that some people will think, well, how the hell can it be successful if a relationship ended? But imagine if what you've learned from that ending. You've got strength here, so there's somehow you've gained your strength. So you may already be in a state where you have actually gained a degree of emotional maturity from a past situation. Especially relating to romantic relationships. You've got the King of Cups there, emotional maturity. You've got the Empress there, again, that nurturing energy, overcoming the burden. So you could very well be ready for the new. You're ready to be in a relationship now, but through a different lens, or to take things to the next level even as well. Right, I'll leave that there. It's just about learning, I would say, what is and isn't acceptable in relationships, what works, what doesn't. Even if there are feelings there's stuff about compatibility that can come to mind as well, because people can have deep feelings and there's just a lack of compatibility. So it's kind of learning all around what makes a relationship work, or what has the potential to make a relationship work. Or even if it's just that you figured out what doesn't work, then you can use that to make things work in the future, can't you? Let's look at the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, Ten of Pentacles, King of Wands. I mean, again, that's it says, well, the question was, what can you learn from that past experience? What would make a relationship more stable and long lasting? For a start with the Ten of Pentacles, and we'll have a look at the King of Wands as well. There might be something here about stability versus passion, with that King of Wands being there. Again, I think it's what I just said about you can have very strong feelings for someone, but there's a lack of compatibility. But let's see what comes out here. Right, you've got the Two of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Emperor, Page of Pentacles. Is it meant to be in reverse? I'll leave it in reverse and clarify. This to me, it's a sense of choosing the more mature option, because the King of Pentacles came up. I know the King of Cups came up. The King of Pentacles came up as well, didn't it? And for me, I've said it millions of times now, the King of Pentacles is the closest of the court cards to the Emperor. That's just how it feels for me. That's just my personal take on it. The Emperor is mature. He's stable. Again, that mature option. What you've learned from that is choosing the more, like, still being open and curious, but choosing the mature option. I think I have a feeling on this Page of Pentacles, but yeah, again, it's that process of learning what is and isn't enough. So like if you're in a relationship now, or you started dating, or got to the point where you were dating again, it's realizing that just the feelings aren't enough. You know, the people need to back up their words with their actions as well. They need to show, because these are all pentacles, aren't they? It's knowing the difference between when somebody's giving you enough and when they're not giving you enough, you know, whether they're breadcrumbing you or it's all talk and no action, that sort of thing. It's going, as I say, going for the more mature option. So yeah, that King of Wands there could indicate the King of Wands is still mature, but as I say, it's passion versus stability, because passion's great, but does it sustain a relationship? It depends. It can, but only if the actions are backed up, like the stability's there as well, then it can sustain. But if it's just all passion and nothing else, then yeah. So I think that goes there, doesn't it? Let's look at the present. You've Two of Cups. As I say, it feels like there could be a potential relationship in the present. or connection at the very least, even if you're not officially together or whatever, a connection. So the Two of Cups. In the present, we've got the Eight of Cups. First thing that comes to mind with the Eight of Cups is not settling. Again, if you've learned, it's definitely a sense of, yeah, I'm not settling for anything less than I'm worth. Anything else? Six of Swords, not settling. Again, not settling. Anything else? Try that again. Anything else? Okay, I will take the Queen of Swords because I like the way she fell out so dramatically there. That for me, that's boundaries. It's just all an energy of not settling. Like even with a connection being there in your life now, it's like, yeah, I'll do it and I'm willing to go into it, but I am not settling. I've learned too much to go through bullshit again. The only thing I would say, possibly just at this point in time, is being careful of being a bit too harsh. I wouldn't say being too cautious. Can you ever be too cautious? Maybe you can, but not being too harsh with the boundaries. If you've had shitty experiences before, you can get to the point where you're a little bit, you get a little bit firm. Because of that receive with love and appreciation, it's like, it can get to the point as it's just being too harsh, isn't it? Right, let's get one more. Five of Swords. That would be being a bit too harsh, where you want to win. You want to, it's not malicious necessarily, but there's a sense of one-upmanship where you might, if you've had shitty experiences, it's like, oh, well, nobody's going to take advantage of me ever again. But it, again, becomes too harsh. Another thing I was going to say, even if it's just like dating and it's not an established relationship, it's, what was I going to say? Just wanting to make sure that you get someone who's on the same page as you comes to mind as well. Let's have a look at that Five of Swords. The Star. The Ace of Swords. Yeah, be careful of the logic. Be hopeful. Obviously have your boundaries, don't settle, but be careful of being too logical and becoming a bit harsh is all I can think of, harsh with it, to the point where you just don't appreciate the other person. I mean, obviously if there are massive ass red flags that say don't do it, then, or there's massive red flags with the person, obviously deal with that as you need to, but don't be so focused on not getting hurt that it kind of messes the relationship up. So let's look at that Devil card. So that could be like residual, that little bit of residual, I don't even know what to call it. But let's have a look at it. Like a little bit of a shadow from any past experience that can end up making you a little bit harsh. So let's look at the Devil. Yep. Why did I not say it? I was going to say residual pain and I didn't say it. And then the Three of Swords comes out. Yeah, residual pain. Knight of Pentacles. I'm going to try that again. What else do we need to know for this Devil card? Seven of Cups. You don't want to make the wrong choice. You literally don't want to make the wrong choice. You don't want to commit to the wrong choice, to the wrong person. And that's completely understandable. If you've experienced past pain, you don't want to make the same mistake again. But yeah, what's the advice? Obviously learn from the past experiences. That is the advice. But again, don't let that residual past hurt and the shadow of that mess things up and make it too confusing for you. Let's get something for that Seven of Cups. Don't let it create conflict and don't let it, what's the word? Is it aloof? Don't let it make you aloof and have such hard boundaries that it's like it's absolutely impossible for anybody to match what you want. I think is what comes to mind. So let's put that back. So that's what you can learn in the present. Let's look at the future energy or potential future, the Empress. I mean, as I said, with the King of Cups, that is where you maybe soften up. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but it's just more balanced. So it's not being a doormat, but also not being so harsh that it's impossible. You're making it impossible for anybody to meet your standards. It's a healthy balance emotionally and in terms of what you give as well, because the Empress is earth. Is she earth energy? I think she's earth energy, isn't she? She's connected to Taurus and Libra, but I think she's more on the earth side of things. Right, so Empress, let's see. Of course it falls. So you have the Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. I know it sounds weird, but I actually think this is positive with them being in reverse, actually. Seven of Wands. Let's see what comes after that. Three of Pentacles. Okay, I like that. Let's just get one for the Seven of Wands. I feel like that's more along the lines of having healthy boundaries at this point with the cards that are there with it. That you will, going into the future, your boundaries will be healthier and more balanced. So not extreme on either end, either way. Where there's none or where there's too many. Let's get one for the Seven of Wands. Oh, I like that. That's beautiful. Right, so Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords in reverse. To me, that tells me that's where you're not so concerned about whether or not you're going to get hurt and rejected. You're not stuck in your head. It's turned around. Again, where there was that little bit of residual pain, that shadow of wanting to not be made a fool of or to make the wrong choice. It's turning that around and not focusing that. You're more focused on enjoying and making things work. Seven of Wands, boundaries, but healthy boundaries. The boundaries are there, but that helps you to move forward, to move in the right direction. Queen of Pentacles, you know your values, you know your worth, you know your self-worth, but you're not weaponizing it. I think that's the word I was looking for all along after everything I've just said. Not weaponizing your values and your boundaries. That's it. That's the key, and that changes things. And then obviously that's where you're able to make things work better. And I've said previously in other readings that the Three of Pentacles, for me, it's a collaboration, but it's more of a balanced, equal collaboration where you might not be doing the exact same things, but your contribution is equal in whatever capacity it is. So let's look at the King of Cups. What can you learn? As I said, emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. And there's another one as well, but I've forgotten. Resilience, possibly as well. Yeah, that's it. Emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, and emotional resilience. But King of Cups, let's see. So you've got the Two of Swords. Try that again. I mean, that was what wanted to come out, the Nine of Pentacles. Right, you've got the Knight of Swords. Ooh, okay. Okay, so there's a big thing about communication here as well with that King of Cups that I didn't see coming. So I would say one of the other major things that you can learn here is to speak on what you want, like make your intentions blatantly clear. And if you've seen any of my other readings before where romantic stuff has come up, one thing I've said is that, like, for example, when people first start dating, I am someone who personally believes that you make your intentions clear from the beginning. As much as we all want to appear light and breezy and fun, I don't see the point in sort of going along with what the other person wants. And like, for example, if one person's just after casual whatever, just a casual bit of fun, and the other person is looking to see if they can find the person they're going to marry, make that clear. Don't sort of hide it and just go along with whatever the other person wants, because it's not the truth for a start. And it's like, it cuts the bullshit straight away, doesn't it? If you both state your intentions from the beginning, then, and that's enough to put you off, then it means that it just wasn't going to work, wasn't it? Or if you state your intentions and one of the people thinks, oh, you know what, I actually really like this person, so even though they've said that, I'm willing to give it a chance, but you're still both honest with each other, then you have a chance. But if you bullshitting, then it's already a rocky foundation. But yeah, there's something here about stating what it is that you genuinely want. I think we know with the King of Cups, he can tend to keep his feelings to himself. He can be quite reserved. And it's not to say that the first date you go on with someone, you're like, oh, I think I'm going to be in love with you and we're going to get married, blah, blah, blah. But just state what your intentions are. Are you looking for something casual, or is it a case of, right, I want to get to know you to see if there's potential for this to be something long-term and eventually lead to whatever your happily ever after is. Just be honest about that and don't be afraid to express it. Don't fear the rejection. Don't fear rejection, because at the end of the day, if they reject you because you've said that you're trying to meet someone that you can marry, then they're not on the same page, are they? So, yeah. Right, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, that's it. I was just mulling over what I just said. So I'm going to get you final cards of advice from the Oracle of the Unicorns deck. Final advice for this relationship reading for air signs from Oracle of the Unicorns. What do they need to know? And just to point out with that, you are limitless. You can do anything you choose. If you are honest about how you feel and you have balanced boundaries, you really can do anything you choose. It's when you when there's the imbalance there and when you're holding back, that's when you get restricted, isn't it? So yeah, let's see what the final advice is. Right, so you've got support, ask for help, get more rest, nurture yourself. So that for me, that's like self-worth. It's self-worth, nurturing yourself, but also asking for what you need as well. Again, where I said at the end, make your intentions clear. It's that, isn't it? If you make your intentions clear, then you're more likely to get what you need than just waiting for the other person to do it blindly. So what else? What else do we need to know? You also have receive. How many times has receive come up in this reading? I can't even talk properly. Receive. Be open to receiving goodness. Believe you are worthy. That word again, worthy of abundance. A gift is coming to you soon. And I will get one more. I haven't used this deck in ages and it is one of my favourites. Wouldn't describe myself as a fluffy kind of unicorny person, but I really do like this deck. Right, one more. And you have, right, I will take these. You have rebirth and miracles. So rebirth says, reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. I mean, that's just how you change, how you process relationship type situations and how you walk the talk, isn't it? How you transform, basically, because as I said, it looks like you're not like completely bitter about any past experiences, but there may be a little bit of harshness still in the present, that in the future it looks like that kind of balances itself out. So for me, that's the rebirth. And then miracles. Have faith that your miracle is on its way. Your prayers have been answered. Surrender the house. So if you're someone who's, again, if you've had dodgy relationship experiences and you thought, bloody hell, what's the point? How am I ever going to find anyone that's right? And then even if you're with someone, you have doubts because you've just seen so many red flags with past people. You just think get to the point where you think everything's a red flag. All of this, balancing everything out and having healthy boundaries, then it will feel like a miracle. You will be very grateful when you do get what you want. So I will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want a personal reading, see the info in the description box. But take care.